Rebound to Lomax.
Top high school recruit in the country.
Max Rice with a steal. Steps into a three and hits. Big play there by Max Rice.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Really hot. And there's a big three from his son, Max Rice. He has stepped up big. Rice took the three and got it to jiggle in.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
He is on one right now. Max Rice with 3 of his 4 threes here in the second half. He has 12 points.
Max Rice is having himself a game.
After 3.5 a game, he's up to 14.
Yeah. Now we can be friends again.
Well, there you go, Max Rice, Daddy's boy. Everybody remembers that game from February at Air Force. And, as you can tell, we're talking Max Rice today on our basketball offseason series. We've examined a different player on the roster every day, and today is Friday. So Jay Tust is with us here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. And Jay, the sports director, as everybody knows, over at KTVB. And we're going to be talking Max Rice today, man, and he's going to join us here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch Max grow up, and I covered him at Bishop Kelly, and it's been really cool to see him become the player that he is at the collegiate level. There's always just a cooler connection when kids from Idaho or that played locally in Idaho and have gone up to college have success. So that definitely applies to Max Rice and his growing career for the Boise State men's basketball team.
Well, if fans out there, folks watching, have a question or a comment for Max Rice, get it in, and we'll try to get that on the air either now or for him when he joins us here in a couple of minutes. And Max, obviously the son of Coach Rice. You saw the video there. Boise State put that video together there, so full credit to Dom and the great team over there at Boise State that put that video together. And it was, we look at Max Rice's season, and I'm sure he'll say the same thing, but it was obviously at times a frustrating season for him. It was an up and down season, 1 for 24 from 3 to start the season. And again, that wasn't in 7 or 8 games. That was 18 games. I mean, it's over half the season. We're sitting there and he has 1 made 3, and it was just something we're not used to seeing. The thing that stood out to me, though, Jay, was during that stretch at the beginning, he was only taking like 1 or 2 threes a game. I mean, you're talking 18 games, and he only took 24 threes. So it's hard for a shooter to get going when he's 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 1, 0 for 1. So later in the season, he obviously picked it up and was 23 of 66 from in the final 17 games and 35%, more what we're used to. But the volume went up and the shots started to go in, the confidence. And, man, when Max Rice gets confident, when he hits that first 3 in a game, it's usually look out. But unfortunately, early in the season, it just didn't happen for him. Kind of a weird year for Max.
Yeah, and you're right. Like throughout that stretch in which he was 1 for 24, he only attempted more than 2 threes in a game one time. And so that's, shooting threes is similar to, a baseball batting average. I mean, if you're a good 3-point shooter, obviously you're going to have a higher average than even an elite batting average. But, if you miss your first 2, you make your third and you're back to 33%, which obviously isn't bad. So once his volume went up, his shooting percentage went up. And after that start, I think that he made almost 35% of his threes down the stretch, which is much more like the Max Rice we've come to know at Boise State. And so he's an important player to this team, very versatile because he's either, an elite 6-man or he's a guy that you can start into the starting lineup and play bigger minutes. I mean, let's remember when Boise State was a little banged up against Colorado State at Taco Bell Arena. Max scored 17 in that overtime game, and without him in that game, they probably that's more of a lopsided defeat for the Broncos. And you go down to Fresno State, if he doesn't carry the hot hand while everybody's cold in that game, they likely don't win on the road at Fresno State. And those are 2 victories that I guess they lost at home to Colorado State, but that road game at Fresno State was a big victory for this team that really helped spark a big run. And if they don't do that, who knows what happens this season. So Yeah, he's a kid that's been very important to this Boise State men's basketball team throughout his career.
Yeah, I had 4 games kind of circled or marked down that stood out to me, and you mentioned the at Fresno game. Yeah, there's no Marcus Shaver. There's no Tim Duryea play from the corner with 5 seconds and no 3. If he's not 3 for 6 for 13 points, and I know at the time you tweeted out, because it's funny, I was looking back for some of those highlights, and I just searched Max Rice on Twitter last night to put this video together, and you had a comment about if he wasn't 3 for 6 in that game and he wasn't the decoy, then Marcus Shaver may not have even been open for that 3.
Yeah. The flashbacks to that. You're exactly right. Like, everybody knows that they have to respect Max Rice, the shooter. When you're 1 in 24, maybe you slack off a little bit, but all of a sudden he comes out, proves that he can make a few, and that opens things up for everybody else. And the thing about Max too is he's got unlimited range, man. Like, we've seen him throw some in from the logo. Really built his ability to really stretch the court for his teammates. So can be a very dynamic shooter.
You mentioned the at Fresno game, 13 points, 3 of 6. You mentioned the Super Bowl Sunday game, 17 points, 3 of 7 from deep. We showed the video there of the game at Air Force. That was only 3 days later, 14 points. He was 4 of 8 from deep. So, he had 31 points there in a 2-game stretch. At Colorado State to end the regular season, he had 11 points, 3 of 4 from deep as well. Obviously he's got that, instant energy, plays great defense. You saw the steal and the 3 in the Memphis game. Does the little things. What do you make of just how he fits into this team?
Right. I think the thing that always stands out to you about Max, he's obviously got the ability to go get you 17 on a given night if you need him to. But the thing about Max is his basketball IQ and the fact that when he goes in, he's not going to screw stuff up. And at times that's what a team really needs, like, especially when you're sliding guys in and out of the starting lineup, especially when minutes are fluctuating. You don't all of a sudden want to ask a guy that's used to playing, 18 to 20 minutes to play, 30, 32 minutes, and then he's going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game. Like, that's not – if you put Max Rice into those situations, that you're probably not going to have to worry about stuff like that. So, you look at – when it comes to that – He had more than two turnovers in one game this season, and it was San Jose State where he played 36 minutes. So you just know if you bring him into a game, he's going to be fairly reliable and not a guy that's going to screw things up.
Yeah, he's going to move the ball. He's going to make the extra pass. And we even saw him scoring on some crazy kind of floaters and layups when he'd get in the lane later in the season. I love this photo, by the way. This was at San Diego State, literally when he was 1 of 24 from 3. 1 of 24 from 3, 4%, and we're in the 19th game of the season here, and he finally hits one from the top of the key at San Diego State and kind of turns and praises the heavens. I thought this photo was just kind of funny. It kind of relieved a little bit of the stress of his slow start, and he really went on a tear from there. He really did. How do you think, and he's going to join us here in just a couple of minutes, but how do you think he's handled and Coach Rice has handled the whole father-son thing? And obviously that's a unique element to this. And when he was 1 for 24, man, there were some fans wondering why he was still playing. Now, part of it was they literally had nobody else they could play. Pavle was hurt. They didn't have a lot of extra guards. How do you, I know Boise isn't exactly Kentucky or some of the media markets where they may get on you a little more. But how do you think that, now here we are in year 4, counting the redshirt year, right, of the father-son dynamic. How do you think Max and Coach have handled that?
I think that if you're out there and watching and you want to create the narrative of that, you're going to do it, and it is what it is. I actually think they've done a pretty darn good job. I don't know what else I would say, because I do think they've done a good job. Leon has kind of created almost an alter ego for his son. Like, Max is his son, but 12 is his player, and he almost always refers to Max as 12. And a tip of the cap to Max too, because I think that he's shown maturity in it. Like, I know, like, when you get off the court and you talk to Max, like, Leon's his dad. But like when it's business, like, I really don't think you connect the two. And maybe it's because he's a foot taller than Leon.
Luckily, he's not quite on here yet, or I'm sure we would have got
right.
from me on that.
I'm serious in that. I think that Max, like, really does have a maturity about him, and as good as Leon is at handling Max, the son, and the player, I think Max is equally as good, if not even better, about handling Leon, the father, and the coach. Just because, like I said, like, I really don't think that Max ever gives you the impression that his dad or his coach owes him anything. And I think that Max has done a phenomenal job when it comes to that.
Well, he's going to join us in just a minute, but first, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. Transportation Compliance Service. 1,000 people a day are getting into the trucking industry, and if you're thinking about a new career change, a fresh start, they can help you every step of the way. All the permits that you need, all the forms and things, they can help get it done for you with one easy call, and they can get you out towing that first load quickly. So it's a national company, but it's based here in Meridian. Check them out, transcompservice.com. United Commercial Insurance, another national company that can write business insurance policies in 44 states around the country, but they're based right here in the Treasure Valley. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy for you, all the different policies. If you own a business and you think you have good business insurance, just check them out, see if they can help improve your rate. You can check them out online, unitedcommercialinsurance.com, or ask for Brandon, 229-8222. And we thank Boise Dentistry Co. as well. Dr. Meinert there with my kids on the screen. Locations across the Treasure Valley, BoiseDentistryCo.com. So all the newest technology. He does a great job, and I always enjoy going in there talking Boise State sports with Dr. Meinert. So if you're looking for a new dentist for you or for your whole family, check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Ridley's Family Markets as well, 13 Idaho locations. You get more information, shop Ridley's.com. That CUNA location I frequent often, so we appreciate them for their support. And last but certainly not least, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Whether you're at the Boise Town Square Mall or whether you're not in the Treasure Valley, you can check them out online. The blueandorangestore.com is the easiest way to check them out, and they've got all the daily deals and the flash sales and everything on there. And again, we appreciate the Blue and Orange Store there. They supplied the prizes for the March Madness tournament. They're also supplying the gift cards for the golf tournament as well. So we appreciate the Blue and Orange Store, the blueandorangestore.com. Max Rice should be dialing in any moment now. And Derek chimes in with a question while we're waiting, Jay. Is Max the most productive college basketball player to come out of Idaho in the past 12 years?
Hey, Max has had a lot of success, and like we get into these comparisons like Jordan versus LeBron, and like, do we really have to compare? Like, they're both great. I will say this: we have had some decent guys like DeAndre. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. From DeAndre Jones from Bora High School that went over to Central Arkansas, transferred over to SLU. Rylan Bergerson, last name familiar. He had a nice little collegiate career playing for Central Arkansas, then transferring up to Eastern Washington, where he was a double digit, a game scorer. So we have had some guys come out of here that have had some success at the collegiate level. That shouldn't detract from what Max Rice has been able to accomplish, obviously.
No, not at all. And we are pleased to welcome in Mr. Rice to the show here. Max, BJ, and Jay here, man. Excited for you to come on and join us and talk about your season. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, BJ. And what's up, Tust? Good to see you again, man.
What's it's been a couple weeks now or a month or whatever it's been for you to kind of just take a deep breath from how crazy of a season that was. I was looking back on my phone at some of the old pictures and the road trips and the blizzard at Air Force and the quick travel from Utah to San Diego and just how crazy that year was, and winning the Mountain West tournament and going to play Memphis. What's now that you've had a couple weeks to kind of digest it all, how do you put into words what that season was like?
I mean, I think when you give it a couple weeks after the season's really over and you kind of take it all in, I think it's really amazing kind of what we did throughout the season. Looking back on it, winning both the Mountain West regular season and the tournament was something Boise State's never done before, both the tournament and the regular season. So I think it was just a historic season for us, and that kind of sets us up for a great offseason and kind of get a lot of things done this offseason and then kind of go into next season with the target on our back a little bit. But I think that's what we wanted, and I just think it's a legendary season for Boise State basketball.
And I know you know the roster's still in flux. You're trying to add to it. You're not sure who's coming back, all that stuff. What does a season like that do to get the I know the fan base is energized, but for you as players, seeing what's possible and what you can do and still wanting to go even further and obviously get that first win in the tournament now, are you guys already back in the gym? I mean, what does a season like that do for the motivation for you guys?
Oh, yeah. A lot of our guys are already back in the gym, especially some of those young guys who want to be more a part of it this year. Kids like RJ Keene, Kobe Young. Obviously, Tyson played a lot as a freshman, one of the best freshmen in Boise State history. But, it sets us up for a terrific offseason for both recruiting. It kind of puts Boise State's name more on the map. Like, am I going to go here? Am I going to go to the Mountain West champion, Boise State? Like, it really put our name on the map. And And then, yeah, definitely guys are in the gym. We're already building chemistry as a team. We already have a great core from last year. We kind of don't know some of the guys yet, but we'll find that out in the coming weeks for sure. I think the portal closes next week. I'm not really sure about that. But, yeah, no, this last season kind of set us up for a lot of great things in the offseason. And then just kind of build chemistry coming up in the next months. I think we get back together as a team in June. So,
Max, how crazy is college basketball right now? I mean, you're as knowledgeable about this as anybody on the team right now with your background. There's 1,400 guys in the transfer portal. There are like game-changing players in the transfer portal. And you go back to like when you were a kid, watching Gonzaga. If you go back and apply those rules to that era, like who knows if Adam Morrison stays, after a sophomore season at Gonzaga, and who knows if Gonzaga becomes Gonzaga if Adam Morrison isn't there after a sophomore season. So like from what you've witnessed and all your knowledge, like how crazy are things right now?
Yeah, I think the portal just makes it so much easier on like kids to find a new home, basically. So I respect a lot of players who have the loyalty to stay in their programs. Like if you're playing a lot and you chose that school and your coach is still there, and like none of those factors have really changed, I think loyalty is a big thing nowadays, or kind of a rare thing, I would say. With 1,400 players, I think it averaged out to 4 players a team, which is actually insane. And I get it for kids who don't play or some kids that want to find a new home and get more minutes and build towards something else. But for people who play, I think loyalty is a big thing, and staying with the coach you originally committed for is kind of rare to see these days, especially with the transfer portal.
Right. And I'm not necessarily asking you about, to construct Boise State's roster or roster management or anything, but you just do have a unique perspective and a unique knowledge with all this. If you look at what has been going on recently, do you think there is going to be a tipping point? I mean, it just feels like everybody right now is just like, yeah, let's test it. Let's jump into the portal and see what happens. But as we get, 9 days away, 1,400 players are in that thing. Do you hear a buzz at all? Like, hey, maybe the grass isn't always greener.
Oh, absolutely. I got a bunch of friends in the transfer portal, and I've heard it's crazy out there. If you don't, like, coaches will be like, come on a visit. If you don't hit them back within a couple of days, the visit's gone. Like you could run out of options really quick because there's so many kids in there. Like, oh, I'll just go find him. I'll get him. So if you go in there, it's chaos. And the friends I've talked to is if you're not getting on a school fast, then it's next man up. So like, I don't know, a lot of coaches do it differently, but I mean, how Leon does it usually, if you go in the portal, like usually you're gone, like, because you're choosing somewhere else. But so it's just kind of a risk to go in the portal. But you got to know what you want when you get in there for sure, because I think there's a week left and schools are scrambling to find guys minutes. So it's a crazy thing.
Well, Max Rice joining us here on Bronco Nation News Live. BJ Rains and Jay Tust with you. And Max, we're kind of going through a 2-week series here. We're reviewing, kind of each player's season from last year and their outlook moving forward. We had Lucas Milner join us the other day, and we've been talking about Najee Smith and Pavle Kuzmanovic and some of these guys. And we look at your season, obviously, and it was obviously a tale of 2 seasons there. And not to have to look back too much on the slow start, but, that was kind of one of the storylines, the slow start, 1 for 24. And then you obviously got it going 23 of 66 the rest of the way. And we're looking much more like yourself. How do you look back at kind of that your season and a slow start, but then you're able to obviously get it going there at, in the second half?
Yeah, I think the slow start is just sometimes basketball. I think I just wasn't hitting shots early. I didn't really have the off season I wanted before that. Not being able to walk for 2.5 months out of the 3 months of the off season probably didn't help my development. But so that's kind of what I've been focused on this coming off season, just get my pocket up a little higher so I can get my shot off quicker. Because obviously I was shooting deeper shots than I wanted to, but that's kind of what I had to do with the dip I had. So that's a big thing I want to work on, getting my shot off quicker. And then kind of more on the last year thing, I think it built me up more. Like as a player, I had to learn how to defend more, because if I'm not making shots, I got to be out there. I got to be doing something good. So I kind of feel like I developed my defense a little bit more. And then I just had to fight through a lot of mental stresses. Obviously, people questioning whether I should be out there and stuff like that. I had to fight through it, a lot of adversity, and I think I came out on the other side a better player for sure. So I mean, who knows? Like, I think everything happens for a reason, and I'll be a better player because of that little slump I went through.
I showed this photo earlier, Max, but this was the three you hit at San Diego State, obviously after you had been 1 for 24 and you were kind of thanking the heavens there that you had made a shot. And from that point on, you really did seem to start to get it going. Obviously, as like I said, 35% over the final 17 games. And I was telling Jay, but it seemed like your volume went up. I mean, it's hard for a shooter to get going when you're 0 for 1 or 0 for 2 in a lot of those early games. But, it just seemed like for you, if you hit that first one, you'd have the confidence to keep letting it fly. How much for you is confidence part of your game?
Yeah, I think first of all, Leon hates that photo. He's like, "What are you acting like you're not a shooter? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on." But I think that was just like a natural reaction for me, kind of when that went down. Like, finally, like I got one to go. So now, like I felt like it would start flowing after that. And I think every shooter can feel that kind of once the ball goes through the hoop, you feel like the next one's good, the next one. So I mean, yeah, once I started getting that volume up too, I think that helps shooters as well. Just shooting one a game was really hard for me just because if I made it, then I got a couple more. But since I was missing, it was just it was over for shooting for me. But I'm just going to really work on this offseason, being able to get a lot of volume up and getting my shot comfortable in a higher pocket and then be able to shoot 2 or 3 threes a game. And then if I'm making, hopefully more. So that's my plan.
Hey Max, how much of a skill, of a craft is being a shooter? I mean, you talk about it today. It just seems like you focus on so many of like the little details. And how many shots do you get up a day?
I would say I'm trying to get up. I'm working a lot with Alexis Williams. He used to play at Boise State. He's the guy kind of helping me with my shot right now. But it's more, I probably get up 500 makes every day, and then I usually take a day off in between. But I always like to get at least like a couple weeks off after the season just to like refresh before I really go super hard. But yeah, me and Lex have been working out like pretty much every day together and just working on. I feel like I got to get a lot of reps up with the new high pocket just so I don't fall back into my game slippage of kind of dropping it down. But that's kind of just my main focus this offseason. And then obviously when we get with the team, I'll continue to get in the gym and continue to work on a bunch of stuff this season because I didn't get to do it last offseason. So.
Right. Your head coach always teases me that I'm kind of a baseball guy, right? And so I'm grabbing props off my desk here. This is baseball from when I played over in Japan for a little bit. But Abu Kijab was teaching me something a couple of weeks ago. In baseball, if you're throwing from the outfield and you throw a 2-seamer, it's going to be harder to control. So if you get over the top and you throw a 4-seamer, the ball will rise and you'll be able to control it a little bit better. Here is a basketball from like the 2005 Washington State team, your dad's alma mater, Derek Lowe, Taylor Richesti. But Abu was teaching me it really does matter the way that you grip the ball and the way that it leaves your hands. So how much is that something that you work on? And when you catch it perfectly, do you know it's going in almost like the moment it leaves your fingertips?
Yeah, that's a good question. Abu's always been really obsessed with that seams thing. Like in practice, he would throw it to me and I'd shoot it. And if I made it, he's like, "You felt the seams? You felt the seams?" I'm like, "Yeah, Abu's get a good pass, boy." So he's always been like really into that seams thing. But yeah, sometimes like when I catch it, I can just like rotate it onto shoot it on the seams, like just subconsciously kind of. But it definitely does help. I think it comes off better. And usually by the first second or two, like shooters will know if it's going in or not. That's probably what do all that turning before it goes in type stuff. But and then what was your second question?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, because like I was saying, like I would sit at home when I was a kid and I would like blindly try to just find the seams, right? So like the moment I'm reaching to my glove, I don't look at it, I just find the seams. But so is that something that I mean, would you work on something like that, or is that just more of like an Abu thing?
No, yeah, in practice, like when I'm shooting, like if he throws it, like I'll just subconsciously adjust it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's pretty similar, and I would prefer shooting it with the seams. So
I'm trying to grab. I don't have a humble brag like a baseball from playing in Japan. I was trying to see what I had around me that I could grab, but that's pretty cool, Jay. But Max, we had a couple fan questions we wanted to get to, but first I wanted to ask. We had the video here from the Air Force game. I was trying to cue up the clip there. Everybody knows about the time that the Daddy's Boy game. That was a fun game for you to have 13 points in that game. The Super Bowl Sunday game, you had 17 points. We mentioned at Fresno, that the shot from Shaver doesn't happen if you don't go 3 of 6 from 3 and kind of play a decoy there on that shot. Was there a game or a special game for you or a moment for you this year that stands out about the season for you individually?
Yeah, I would say what stands out to me the most was probably just the winning the regular season championship. The tournament was also awesome, but I think winning the regular season was just even more surreal because it takes obviously a whole season to do that. And I think that's more impressive than winning a 3-game tournament. But just having all that hard work pay off and fighting through the slump and fighting through injuries, I think that was one of my favorite moments in the history of my life, low key. It was just super, super it paid off, everything, all the work paid off. And I think me and all my teammates could probably say the same thing. We all got to celebrate together. And it's just been something we've all been working for, especially all the years I've been here, the 10 years I've been here. So, yeah, I would say that just that last game versus Nevada was the most meaningful to me, even though I didn't do that much.
Couple fan questions before we let you go, Max. Jordan chiming in. He's a proud owner of a number 12 NIL t-shirt. How has NIL changed things for you as a student athlete, and where do you hope it goes from here?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you, Jordan. You've always been a good fan to me, so I appreciate you getting some gear. And that's a good question. I think NIL has changed a lot of student athletes' mindset about college, just because, I'm sure some of the bigger names even have gotten a lot of money from deals and stuff. And maybe you're like, well, I'll stay in college an extra year just because I'm getting enough money to be in college than go pro somewhere. So, I mean, I've gotten a couple smaller deals, but it's still nice for me to have a little extra money on the side to just do fun stuff with. So I think it was a great move by the NCAA, and it just benefits the athletes. And I think anything that can benefit the student athletes is nice nowadays because the NCAA is getting a lot of money on their own. So it'd be nice for the students to get some money as well.
Couldn't do an interview without asking about the father-son connection here. Perry wants to know, what's the most difficult part of playing for your dad?
I would just say the most difficult part would just be maybe sometimes he'll yell at me and I feel like he's harder on me sometimes. But I mean, then again, I know what I signed up for when I came here. So I know I've said that before, but yes. And then maybe when I'm going through a hard time, obviously when I went through that slump, he would always be on me to be doing stuff. Even if I was doing stuff, I got to do more, which is obviously right. But it can just be hard if things aren't going well, obviously, but just fought through that and we came out better on the other side. So it ended up being good.
Final question here for you. Jay wants to know, as a player, how you build team chemistry in the early part of the season, inside and outside of the gym.
That's a good question. Well, I mean, I try to get a lot of the guys together just for open gym runs. That kind of help a little bit of the chemistry off the court, or on the court, my bad. And then off the court, sometimes we try to get together and do fun stuff, just around Boise, go mini golf and do stuff like that together. That can always build team chemistry. And then we only have 5 or 6 guys in Boise right now. So just try to get those guys together, maybe go swim, go do fun stuff together and just develop chemistry. So.
Well, final question for me, and then I don't know if Jay has anything left, but I was talking to Austin Bolt a couple weeks ago, and he had talked about how he actually worked out with you guys, maybe played in some pickup games, and there was a small time where he was, seriously considering trying to maybe join the team with you guys. Were you a part of any of the pickup games? Does Austin Bolt have some D1 basketball game?
Absolutely, yeah. He was hooping with us the other day, actually. He's one of my good friends now, so I really like Austin. I think, yeah, his motor is unreal. I was actually guarding him, and I'm pretty decent at boxing out, and he's got really long arms. He would just grab it over me and be like, geez, this dude's an athlete. So I personally think he could play Division I basketball at a high level. I do think he could get some minutes at Boise State. So I don't know if Avalos ever watches your show or anything, but let him hoop a little bit, I think. I think he would want it too. He's a great athlete in football too. I think he's going to have a breakout year. He's going to be one of those players to break out this year. But he definitely does come hoop with us all the time. So I really like Austin. He's a great kid.
Hey, Max, I obviously covered you during your high school days, and I'd see your dad at the game, emphasis on your dad at the game, and he'd call you Max. But ever since you've been at Boise State, you've been 12 whenever he talks about you, kind of like creating that alter ego. So you refer to your dad as Leon when you talk about him as a coach. Do you have an alter ego when he is dad, though?
It's a good question. No, I just call him Leon, just kind of a nice in-between. I don't want to call him coach. I don't want to call him dad because that'd just be weird. So I just call him Leon. I just tell people I'm adopted. So that kind of works for me. But
well, that works. I didn't know if we were going to get a Leonard out of you or not, but that.
I know Leonard today. Just Leon. We're not mad. It's Leonard.
It's Lion, right? Isn't it Lion? It's Lion, right?
Lion, yeah.
Max, we appreciate your time, man. Congratulations on the championships and all the history you guys set this year. 27 wins. We can go down the line, and best of luck. And hopefully it's a big year for you and the team next year. And I'm sure we'll be continuing to catch up with you before the season starts.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. There he is, Max Rice. And Jay, good. Always enjoy having Max on. And it is kind of a cool. I've played for my dad, in Little League and things like that. But it's a lot different on the D1 level to play for your dad, and that's got to be a pretty cool for them.
Yeah, it does. And when Max signed up to play for Boise State, he was a walk-on. No doubt he has gone out and earned his scholarship. And a couple of weeks ago, last time we talked to Leon, I was asking him, like, is that a scenario where you can put your son back as a walk-on and have a scholarship? Maybe that's a debate that will happen some other day, but without a doubt, Max Rice is a scholarship player, and he has earned every bit of that scholarship since he's been at Boise State.
Well, we appreciate all.
Apparently, I'm getting the rap.
Well, we are rapping, so it's perfect timing. Hey, how's it going?
You have anything to say about basketball? No? Yeah? Yes? I don't know. Maybe we're being quiet this morning.
Thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union. Thanks to Lithia Ford of Boise. Thanks to RowPaint.com. All of our great sponsors. Thanks to Max Rice. Thanks to Joe Nickel for helping set it up. And Jay, thanks to you and for Camille for letting you sneak away for 30 minutes.
Can you say have a good day? Okay, well, we'll whisper it, I guess. Say bye. Bye. We're whispering.
Appreciate it, Jay and the Tust family. And you guys have a good day. Everybody have a good day. We will talk to you later. We'll see you next Monday. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.